The gilded corridors of Kensington Palace have never felt so empty. As Princess Charlotte Elizabeth Diana, the 10-year-old daughter of the Prince and Princess of Wales, reportedly prepared to say what palace insiders are calling a devastating goodbye. She was quite known for her feisty personality. Feeling that we got when they came out with the baby. We couldn't miss it again. We couldn't miss this one. To the only life she's ever known. Longtime royal staff members were seen wiping away tears and consoling one another in scenes described as heartbreaking by those who witnessed them. It's been obviously fantastic and she's been a little joy of heaven, but at the same time it is a moral responsibility. This isn't just another royal drama playing out in the tabloids. According to multiple sources close to the Wales family, something profound has shifted within the carefully orchestrated world of Britain's most prominent royal children. And Princess Charlotte sits at the center of a decision that has left the palace reeling. The girl who would be different. Princess Charlotte has always occupied a unique position within the royal hierarchy. Born on May 2, 2015, she is fourth in line to the throne, positioned between her elder brother, Prince George, and younger brother, Prince Louis. But unlike George, who carries the weight of future kingship, and Louis, who enjoys the relative freedom of being a spare to the spare, Charlotte has existed in a peculiar middle ground, one that has shaped her in unexpected ways. Royal biographer Angela Lavin revealed in a recent interview that Charlotte has demonstrated an independent streak from an early age. She's not like the other royal children we've seen in recent generations. Levin noted there's a steeliness to her, a determination that reminds many palace watchers of Princess. And in her youth, staff members who have worked closely with the Wales children paint a picture of a little girl caught between two worlds. 1. Longtime nanny speaking on condition of anonymity described Charlotte as acutely aware of the cameras, the protocols, the expectations in a way that seemed to weigh heavily on someone so young. She would ask questions that would break your heart. The source revealed. Questions like, why can't I just be Charlotte, or do I have to wave at people I don't know forever? These weren't tantrums or complaints. They were genuine questions from a child trying to understand her place in a very complicated world. The breaking point. The catalyst for what insiders are calling Charlotte's goodbye appears to have been building for months, possibly years. According to sources within the palace, the young princess has become increasingly resistant to royal duties and the relentless public scrutiny that comes with her position. The situation allegedly came to a head during a private family meeting at Adelaide Cottage in Windsor last month. Palace staff reported unusual activity, extended private time with no official engagements, visits from child psychologists and family counselors, and what one source described as the most serious family discussions the Wales household has seen since the late Queen's passing. Princess Catherine was in tears for days, claimed a source close to the family. Prince William was pacing the gardens at odd hours. Something was clearly very wrong, and the children were at the center of it. What emerged from these closed-door meetings was apparently a stunning Request from Princess Charlotte herself. She wanted out of royal life, or at least a dramatic reduction in her public role. For a 10-year-old to articulate such a desire and for her parents to take it seriously enough to consider major changes speaks to the severity of the situation, the impact on royal staff. The human toll of this unfolding drama has been most visible among the palace staff who have devoted their careers to serving the royal family. Many of these individuals have worked for the Windsor for decades, having served multiple generations. And they view the children not just as their royal charges, but as part of an extended family. Mrs. Margaret Henderson, who served as a senior household manager at Kensington Palace for over 20 years before her recent retirement, spoke carefully about the emotional atmosphere. These children are loved beyond measure by everyone who works with them. She said, when you see them struggling, when you see them questioning their existence in this extraordinary but constraining world, it affects everyone deeply. Multiple staff members have reportedly requested time off or been granted compassionate leave as the situation has unfolded. The image of seasoned palace professionals, people who have maintained composure through scandals, deaths, and constitutional crises, breaking down in tears over a young girl's struggle has struck many as the most human moment to emerge from the palace in years. One security officer, speaking anonymously to protect his position, described the scene when Charlotte allegedly said goodbye to some of the staff she's known since birth. She went around to each person, thanked them by name, and told them she loved them, but needed to find out who she was without all of this. He recounted, his voice catching. There wasn't a dry eye in the room. This child, this beautiful, intelligent little girl, was essentially saying she couldn't breathe in this life anymore. Catherine's impossible choice. Princess Catherine finds herself in perhaps the most difficult position of all. Having experienced her own adjustment to royal life, she understands both the privileges and the prison that comes with the position. Sources suggest she has been torn between her duty to the crown and her primary responsibility as a mother. Catherine has always been different from other royals in how she approaches parenting, noted royal commentator Emily Nash. She's fought for her children to have normal experiences, normal friendships, normal childhoods within the very abnormal context of royal life. But there's only so much she can do within the constraints of the institution. The Princess of Wales has reportedly been the driving force behind whatever accommodation the family is working toward for Charlotte. Having survived her own period of intense public scrutiny and having been open about her mental health advocacy, Catherine is said to be fiercely protective of her daughter's psychological well-being. Catherine told senior palace officials that she would choose her daughter over the institution if forced to make that choice, claimed an insider familiar with the discussions. That statement sent shock waves through the establishment. It's essentially the same position Harry and Meghan took, but coming from the future queen consort, it carries different weight. The comparison to Harry and Meghan. It's impossible to discuss this situation without drawing parallels to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's departure from royal life in 2020. The echoes are undeniable. A royal family member expressing they cannot continue with the pressures of public life, concerns about mental health, and a family trying to navigate between personal well-being and institutional expectations. However, there are significant differences. Charlotte is a child, which changes the calculus entirely. She cannot simply move to California and forge a new path like her uncle and aunt did. Any decision about her future must be made by her parents, within a framework that protects her, both from the pressures of royal life and from the dangers of being a high-profile child outside palace protection. Royal historian Dr. Penelope Wilton suggests that Charlotte's situation may actually force the palace to confront issues that Harry's departure left unresolved. Harry was an adult who could articulate his grievances and make his own choices. However controversial, she explained, Charlotte is a child whose struggle highlights the fundamental question: what do we do when someone born into this system cannot thrive within it? Especially when that someone is too young to have chosen any of it. Some commentators have noted that William and Catherine may be learning from the mistakes made during Harry's crisis, rather than dismissing concerns or trying to force conformity. They appear to be taking Charlotte's feelings seriously and working towards solutions that might prevent a complete rupture later in life. Charlotte's unshakable place in the modern monarchy. The story of Princess Charlotte is not only about a young girl growing up in the world's most watched family, but also about how centuries of royal tradition have bent and shifted around her presence. Few moments capture this better than the reforms that defined her status, beginning with the landmark Succession to the Crown Act of 2013, signed into law by Queen Elizabeth II. This historic piece of legislation overturned the centuries-old practice of male primogeniture, the rule that once allowed younger brothers to overtake their elder sisters in the royal line. With a single stroke, the hierarchy that had stood for generations was dismantled. Charlotte became the first princess in British history to benefit directly from this reform. When her younger brother, Prince Louis, was born in 2018, she did not lose her position. She remained third in line to the throne. An unprecedented moment that underscored the monarchy's slow but undeniable shift toward equality. For the first time, a royal daughter's place was secure, untouched by the arrival of a younger brother. It was a quiet revolution within the House of Windsor, one that rewrote the rules of succession in Charlotte's favor. But the changes to her identity did not stop there. Queen Elizabeth II herself made another critical adjustment that safeguarded Charlotte's royal standing. In 1917, King George V had restricted the use of princely titles, allowing them only for children and grandchildren of the monarch through the male line, and for the eldest son of the Prince of Wales. Had those rules remained, neither Charlotte nor Lizzie would have carried the titles of princess or prince despite their father's position. By extending these privileges, the Queen ensured that Charlotte's status was not diminished, granting her the dignity of being addressed properly as a princess by birth. The seismic shift continued in 2022. Following Queen Elizabeth II's death on September 8, with her grandfather ascending the throne as King Charles III, Charlotte's titles evolved once more. She moved from being Princess Charlotte of Cambridge to Princess Charlotte of Wales, reflecting her father, Prince William's new position as Prince of Wales, officially confirmed on September 9, 2022. Today she carries the full title of Her Royal Highness, Princess Charlotte of Wales, a distinction that firmly establishes her place in the royal order, separate from her mother, Catherine, whose title as princess came through marriage rather than birth. The future holds even greater possibilities. Royal biographer Robert Jobson has suggested that Charlotte could one day inherit the title of Duchess of Edinburgh, currently held by Prince Edward, but destined to return to the crown. Yet, it is the title of Princess Royal that looms largest over her destiny. Traditionally reserved for the eldest daughter of the monarch, this role is one of the most senior and respected positions for a female royal. Since King Charles has no daughters, Charlotte is expected to inherit it, either during his reign or under her father's kingship. The title carries immense prestige, signifying not only honor, but responsibility. Currently held by Princess and since 1987, the role has been a platform for tireless service and international representation. Should Charlotte inherit it, she would step into one of the monarchy's most demanding yet influential positions, marking her as a senior working royal of her generation. Charlotte's journey through legal reforms, royal decrees, and evolving titles represents more than the story of one child. It mirrors the transformation of the monarchy itself, a balancing act between centuries of tradition and the demands of a modern world. Her path from Princess of Cambridge to Princess of Wales reveals both the weight of history she carries and the promise of the role she is destined to shape. So, what hidden truths lie behind Charlotte's shifting titles, symbolic honor or calculated power play? And how might this reshape monarchy forever? Keep watching Charlotte's journey through tradition and change. The Wales family didn't just move, they strategically relocated for a fresh start. On the surface, it looked like just another royal decision. But behind the scenes, the move to Windsor was filled with intention, emotion, and purpose. It wasn't sudden, neither was it random. It was a major life decision made by Prince William and Princess Kate, not just as royals, but as parents. Let's take a dive into what led to the sudden departure from Kensington Palace. One of the first major reasons behind the move was education. In September 2022, all three children were enrolled at Lamrook School, a prestigious but down-to-earth private institution near in Windsor. It marked a big change from their previous life in London. Until then, Charlotte had attended Thomas's Battersea, a busy London school where both she and George were pupils. But Lamrook offered something different. More privacy and more room to breathe, said a chance to breathe again. Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates just like this.